Bringing the hate back to Twitter, one tweet at a time. That's Dr. Don Wayne, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Johnny Bottles. To my left is Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist. You know him, you love him from Twitter, with such vibrant tweets as, why don't you soak some gasoline on a rag and wrap it around your legs so the rats or the ants don't crawl up and gnaw on your candy ass. What a tweet that was. It was ants? Okay.
It was ants.
We're having a special show tonight because
we are.
Naturally, it's after AEW Dynamite with that ratings debacle they just had. And that show, well, we'll get into that later on, how bad that was. We have a man who's the number one fan of AEW Dynamite. He loves the show. He posts about it daily, virtually. He posts the ratings, the quarter hours, you name it. He's a man out of control with a WrestleNomics Patreon account. The lovely and talented Awful Wrestling.
Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here.
Welcome to the show. Yes.
Thanks for being here.
Folks,
thanks for having me here.
Folks, if you like our show, by the way, please like and subscribe. Give us a little ring-a-ling on the ding-a-ling. My bell's seen better days. Listen to that damn thing.
How apropos is it, though, that we have Awful Wrestling today when we hit the 125,000 view mark on our YouTube page? I want to thank everybody for that. That's a big accomplishment for us. We were a small podcast just trying to get through this world, and that seemed like a impossible number a year ago, and yet here we are. I want to thank you all again. Please like and subscribe, hit that notifications button. Awful Wrestling, as you know him from Twitter, has it's all on his name, AEWFUL WRESTLING. It's a very, very talented, very creative way to come up with that. How long have you hated Awful AEW?
Oh man, since the Double or Nothing pay-per-view way back in the day with the legless wrestler. I knew it was.
There we go.
That's
I'm so glad you brought that up because I tuned into AEW Wrestling, and I just want to give a little bit of backstory. We can all talk about it real quick. I tuned into it for an alternative because that's what I was promised from WWE. Because at the time, I'm going to be honest, I had quit watching WWE altogether. The end of Vince McMahon going senile era was driving me nuts. Nothing made sense to me. I couldn't stand it. And when I turned it over to AEW, when I saw a legless man in a battle royal, the first thing I thought was, is this like some sort of a new comedic wrestling that I'm not aware of? What the hell am I missing here? And then I saw they were trying to be serious. And I said, well, I've got to watch this dumpster fire from here on out because this, I don't know if it's going to get better or worse, but it's at least more entertaining than what the hell's going on in WWE at the time. And here we are 4 or 5 years later, and the WWE is back on its feet, rocking the world, giving us sold-out pay-per-views, PLEs, killing the ratings on Mondays, Saturday, and Friday nights, and it's driving the neckbeards insane. And Awful Wrestling, Awful as we're going to call it moving forward, make sure all the neckbeards know just how bad their product is.
Listen, it's been we're entering our 6th year with this damn organization. I mean, it's not going to get any better. Obviously, the ratings did a little jump today, but that, come on now. A year ago they were in the 800s. 2 years ago they were in the million. So it's only going to be a matter of time, gentlemen. And unless Tony Khan gives up the book to somebody who's competent in booking wrestling television, I don't see this going past into the next decade.
I will say this much. I think this company will keep running as long as Tony Khan is willing to lose money. Because it used to be when you would talk about how bad the show was, but Wembley, and that was their go-to. Now the go-to is, but 500 million. Guys, in 3 years, the dance could be over if they can't get any better. Because I believe the first 3 years, I think, are guaranteed for this company. They're going to get the money. Now, they could cut the damn cost and say, to hell with it, we'll pay you, but we're not putting you on, and we'll do something else. But they're going to be paid for the next 3 years. The whole streaming and HBO Max, whatever you want to call it, that got announced today. If you want to talk about that a little bit, did you guys see that?
Yes.
You know what was conspicuous by its absence?
Collision.
AEW Rampage.
Well, Rampage is gone.
Yeah.
That's canceled as of the end of this month. They didn't even mention Collision.
They did, I think, in the first few sentences. I believe that they talked about Dynamite being on Wednesdays and also Collision streaming on Saturdays, both on Max.
Says, here it is. Dynamite and Collision episodes will be made available on demand on Max immediately after the show airs. This will allow fans that were unable to watch the AEW live to immediately catch up with the shows with No day delay required that you might get on Raw or SmackDown. As for the 700 hours of their library, the content will be slowly rolled out. So apparently they're going to have it. We all knew that Rampage was gone. So that's a dead brand and it's over for them.
Here's their official press release. This is what I saw. All live AEW programming airing on WBD's networks will also be available to stream on Max and on demand after their live broadcast, of course. AEW Dynamite, Collision, and Rampage and all AEW pay-per-view library content through the end of 2024 will be made available on Max on a rolling basis. At launch, all AEW Dynamite episodes, no Collision, no Rampage mentioned, and pay-per-views from the company's inaugural 2019 year will be available, as well as more than 2 months of the most recent AEW programming that aired across WBD's networks. So they're taking Dynamite all the way back to 2019, from what I gather here. But the most recent episodes of Collision and Rampage will be posted
immediately
on Max. Yes. Do you guys get that from this press release?
Yeah, I've got the full thing right here. That's what I was reading. They're going to have it all on there. They're just going to slowly put it on there. The Rampage is a dead brand, so there's no need to even mention that. I get why they didn't do it. I wouldn't mention a dead brand either. That's just bad business proposition.
Right.
Don't talk about a dead horse, and nobody will remember the damn thing, right?
Right.
That's sort of how I see it. So I want to talk about that real quick. I guess the next part I want to talk about is, did you see the news on Adam Copeland?
No, I missed that.
What happened here?
They are saying, the rumor is Adam Copeland is going to appear on the January 1st episode of AEW. That's what they're saying. That's what the streets are saying. So his immaculate comeback from a broken leg is going to be here. I hope the 50-year-old man learned, don't jump off of cages, you absolute idiot, at your current weight, looking like a rock steady. I mean, you can't have that much muscle mass diving off of shit. In the words of Dusty Rhodes, don't do shit you don't know how to do.
Right.
Well, let me ask you this, Don. I did watch Dynamite last night. I told you that I was going to watch it this afternoon, and I watched it this afternoon. They wouldn't let a man with a broken leg wrestle, Adam Copeland. But there's a young man in AEW had a match last night with a broken forearm. How's that possible? What's the difference there? Why would they do that? I want to see Adam Copeland with a broken leg wrestle. Just for shits and giggles. Why not?
Because they don't book in a way that makes sense. This is a perfect. We're going to get into the bad booking here in a minute. I can't wait to talk about this show. Again, I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. The super chat is open. I got one more quick bit of news, and like I said, we try to be fair on here, Awful, and I know you do too. If it's bad, it's bad. If it's a bad idea, it's a bad idea.
Indeed.
Did you see the new high-profile championship belt that is rumored to be coming to WWE?
What championship belt might this one be? We saw the
they
Wing
want
Beetle.
to replace. They want to replace the Unifala or whatever the shit it is with a tribal chief championship belt. That's the rumor going around.
Yes.
Wow. First impressions, I think that's terrible. It's a terrible idea.
He just said,
who's booking that shit?
He just said on The Rock, he just said on SmackDown that that's his most prized possession because his father gave him, Roman Reigns, his father from the Wild Samoans. Sika, or was it Alpha? Which one is his father?
I couldn't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean,
Alpha, yes.
I'm guessing.
Wild Samoan number 2 gave him the Ulafala. And he proudly wore that ever since he got it as the tribal chief of the family. But The Rock is the high chief. They haven't really gone into a lot of that. The Rock is the high chief. Remember at that press conference for WrestleMania in Vegas when he shone on the wall, they put the graphic up, of the entire Maivia bloodline. Maivia Fatu bloodline was a tree. And Nia Jax was on there. Tamina was on there. And The Rock was listed at the top as high chief.
Mm-hmm.
I see Don ducked out. He was freezing up on us. Don will be back. He was the high chief. And The Rock's got that People's Champ belt that he calls it. Remember he got it from Ali?
Yeah.
Ali's widow gave him that championship belt.
Specially made.
Specially made. He was sporting that. So he said, that's my prized possession. So look at it now. They're going to have a special Tribal Chief belt for The Rock.
I think that's a hideous idea. What are they going to melt down the Ulifala and make sure that some of its remnants are in the belt somehow?
Be like the side plaque or some shit.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It's just a horrible idea. I hope it doesn't bear fruit. I hope they just go with the Lola Falana and he can wear that around his neck in perpetuity. You know what I'm saying? They can just
make it a gold chain. Why not?
Have Flava Flav come out and hang a gold chain around his neck with a big watch.
Yeah.
Remember, he used to wear that. That'd be fantastic.
Bring back Papa Shango's big-ass gold necklace when he joined the Nation of Domination. We had that big-ass thing. Make that what he wears.
Why are you on this side?
Because I had to leave. The StreamYard's hosing me up tonight, pal.
Damn it, Don.
See, now here we go with the musical chairs. We got to talk about the show from last night. We're going to have to eventually get to it. I figure there's no time like the present. We all watched it. Like this, everybody, this is the part that always trips me out, right? When you start talking about what you didn't like about the show. And awful, I'm going to ask you if you get this all the time too, because I know I do.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you even watch it then, man?
For tonight's program. Oh yeah, all the time. For tonight's program, I did watch it for the sake of you guys, and so I can sound a little bit knowledgeable. Most times, I really watch the clips that are on YouTube. I've said this time and time again. Like after the show is over, they're going to give you the most important 5 or 6, 7 things that they want you to pay attention to on their YouTube channel. So there's no point in me going on, watching on television.
For me, I watch the entire show just so that I can see if there's any changes. Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? Is it staying the same? That's honestly why I watch it every week. And I saw your tweet today. I thought it was very insightful where the guy said, why do you even watch if you hate it so much? I don't understand people that hate watching. Your response was, I watch it so that you guys can't have an echo chamber, essentially telling everybody how great it is and ignoring the actual truth on what the hell's going on with this show, which is a bad booking decision by Tony Khan week in and week out for a perpetual man-child that's got $1 billion and can't stop with his toy wrestlers every week with this shit. And last night was no different. Went from the opening of the show. I really hope you guys noticed the opening of the show like I did. I want to talk about that here. 625,000 viewers they had last night. NXT had 708,000.
Absolutely.
I want to say that again. NXT, the third brand of WWE, the developmental talent, where you have botches way more frequent than anywhere else, did 708,000 viewers. This show did 625,000. And this was supposed to be the show that competed with Monday Night Raw. Chris Jericho famously said within 8 months, they'd be taking over Raw's ratings. And here we are, just a few years later, and they're almost half exactly of what they were. And this show, from start to finish, is a direct reason on why they cannot increase their viewership, or for that matter, hold the viewers that they currently have. They're losing them at an exponential pace. They're losing their viewers faster than people are leaving cable. That's been documented and proven. Right. And it's not even close. This show last night, and this is the part that cracked me up. I started seeing this on Twitter now. I don't know if you guys noticed this or not. The AEW diehards were like, there were 3,000 people in that building. I looked it up. There may have been, but only 2,800 tickets got distributed. So let's stop that there. Let's stop giving out the impression that there were 3,000 fans at this show. I want to stop that there.
Was it a 3,000-seat arena? I think it was a smaller arena.
Yeah, it was 4,700 seater.
4,200 for a concert is what I looked up. Yeah.
Well, that beats a 15,000-seat arena, what they usually go into, and draw 2,000 people. So it looked right. I knew right away they had more people there because the house lights were up on the crowd.
Yes.
You could see the upper deck almost where it started.
But the stage was kissing the ring. If you notice, there wasn't even an aisle.
I got notes on that. Yes.
Right.
No, go ahead. Please continue. I've noticed the same thing.
Yeah, they came out of the entranceway. And before you know it, they were in the ring. It was an amazing sight to see. It was almost like it took place on like a theater stage.
Right.
Yes. I noticed that really when Ricochet came down. He was at the top of the ramp, and all of a sudden he's on the steps. How do you get there that fast? Then I scrutinized it a little more. I paid a little more attention to it. And I saw that, he was how short the ramp was. Warrior JWR for the 5 spot. Thank you, buddy. Don Bottles, awful. Did you guys see the fan? That Toad Monet, her downfall needs to be studied. And she threw a fit. Would you like to see that clip, Don? It's from Instagram.
Sure. No, I've seen it, but yeah, you can show it. I mean, it's some wild shit to watch, man. It's absolutely wild. Thank you very much for the super chat, Warrior. We appreciate you as always. This is a special show tonight. Awful said he wanted to come on. I said, all right, we'll get you on here. But yeah, I saw the clip, and she melted down on a treadmill warming up. Like, you can't let this shit get to you, number one. Like, why are you letting this get to you so much?
Especially with the money you're proclaiming to be making.
Oh, God, yes.
So
I'll see she's got that forehead wrapped up.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
gotta keep that weave in place.
Yes. Here we go.
I think it's just a wig. I can't hear.
Yeah, you might have to repeat it. It's a little low.
I can't hear at all.
You can't hear it?
No, not at all. Might just be on your end. I don't know. But essentially, she got on this thing and went on a tirade about how she's living her best life. She's making all this money. She's so happy. If you're so happy, why do you care what somebody says on Twitter? Like, I don't understand this.
One person, one tweet in millions of tweets, she had to respond. Paper thin skin.
I get people attacking me every day for anything I might say about AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Let it go, man. When they look at my picture, the first thing I say is, thanks for being a fan. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to look up my picture, because now I know just how much I annoyed the shit out of you. Yeah. Now I know how much under your skin I got. You think you just did something to me. I know I'm a middle-aged fat guy. You're not telling me anything I don't know, buddy. This is the life I'm in right now. I'm not the one so rabidly upset about what somebody said about my take on a shitty wrestling show.
Yeah.
Basically what she said was she's living her best life. She's having the best match she's ever had in her career. She's besides being delusional, she's richer than she's ever been in her entire life. She's living her best life. That's what she said. Outside of the F-bomb she was dropping, that's what she said. You can hear any of that, Don? You can hear any of the
no
audio? That's
none of it discounts the fact that she's ass in the ring, you know.
That just goes to show you.
And ass on the mic.
And on the microphone. And you know that's why she was presented the way she was in WWE by Vince and all the producers, because she's terrible on the microphone. They hardly ever let her talk. No. Generally, when she did talk, she was in a tag team where the other person did a lot of the talking. And in the ring, she was working against Becky, Charlotte, Asuka, Bailey. Who else was she working with that was high profile?
Great female wrestlers.
Great wrestlers. Great female wrestlers who could carry her to great matches. She's all smoke and mirrors, just like her hair.
Yeah.
All smoke and mirrors. Says people with a lot of money are delusional. She's definitely gone that way. She's become a delusional person. She's totally lost. And I'm glad we started talking about the show from last night, because I did want to cover the stage. I'm going to talk about that later, but it was a smaller building, right? And I get that. It's a smaller building, so you got to have a smaller stage. But the crowd, you could hear the crowd better. Like you guys said, the lighting was much better. I know it eats Tony Khan's ass because he's in such a much smaller building. When he started off, he was selling out 8,000, 9,000 seats in some of these shows. I get all that. But this is where you are now. Use it to your advantage. Build yourself back up. This isn't a step back. This is a reset. That's what they need to tell themselves. But the problem is that unless they change who's running this thing, it's not going to be a reset. It's going to go all the way back to what it was before, which we got last night, which was a shit show. I DVR'd it. I don't know if you guys did, but you know what I noticed when I kicked this thing off of my DVR? There was no
Big Bang Theory lead-in.
Big Bang lead-in. None.
No.
Okay. That I did not know. Interesting.
Which made me want to see what the core hours were. I haven't seen them yet. I tried to look them up. I didn't find them.
Well, we usually get them from him.
Yeah, right. He didn't have them out. So.
Well, usually
during the show, on Thursdays, Awful during the show, while he's talking, I'm like, Awful Wrestling Twitter search. Okay, let's see. No, he doesn't have them yet. Nobody's got him, Don.
Yeah, usually
and
this
we
usually
give you
has him
credit,
for
sir.
us. Oh yeah, that's all AEW disciplinary committee. He supplies me with the chart after he finds out what WrestleNomics has to say about it. Shout out to Brandon Thurston.
We appreciate
it. We thought it was you, but the WrestleNomics Patreon account.
No, I'm just his muse apparently. That every
Gotcha.
damn time he makes his tweet. But yeah, one thing I did want to make mention of is the fact that there was no action in the ring for the first 5 minutes of the show. Everything was a promo in the back.
Promo.
Come on. Yeah, promo. Could you imagine being in the audience? Like, you have to sit there and watch more television, and 5 minutes is like an eternity in some event like that. It's crazy.
And I wrote that down because I said they're trying to do a WWE-esque type open. The problem is all of this shit was pre-taped. It all ran together like here to here to here to here. It didn't let anything breathe. It just slammed it together like a car wreck, and you couldn't really absorb everything you were watching. It went from the Cracker Clan coming in to Renee backing out with pockets to Darby Allin. It just was a mesh of what the shit am I watching right now? Who am I supposed to care about? Now, don't get me wrong. I hate that the WWE always seems to open up with somebody in the ring with the microphone. I'm not saying to do that every show, but it wouldn't kill them to do that once in a while, and it wouldn't kill the WWE once in a while to have a match. Or, God forbid, like they did a few weeks ago, they get that backstage angle. When they did that a couple months ago, that was fire. That got my attention. I was like, and here's why I got your attention. You haven't seen it in forever. You can't do it all the time, and I get that.
Right.
But every now and then, shock my wrestling eye system. Make me go, oh, what the hell was that? That felt like a Mid-South angle. Hacksaw Jim Duggan's in the parking lot, getting his windows bashed out. That kind of shit.
Well, back in the days of Vince in WWE, going back to 2018, 2019, the first 20 minutes of the show was all multiple people promos coming out. One guy would come out, cut a promo, Seth Rollins, cut a promo, and somebody else would come out and have a beef with him. Then the general manager would come out, and then this, that, and the other, and talking for 20, 25 minutes.
Right.
Yes.
Because he tore up the script when he walked through the door, and they had to rewrite it all on the fly. So the pages are coming out little by little.
Right.
Every
and while that might
have
worked back in the day, like it does get a little long in the tooth. So you got to come up with some sort of new idea. Tony has the ability to do that. His writers have the ability to do that, all 27 of them. Why they chose not to last night is beyond me. I think they should have opened up with the Mercedes Moné Anna Jay match instead of having 5 minutes of no connective tissue, just like you said, Don.
Right.
Like they have their announce team babbling over every little thing. They let nothing breathe, and then we're on to the first match. No ballyhoo, no fireworks, no nothing like that. This is a billionaire's company, by the way.
I would wipe out that entire announce team. They would all be gone.
Yes. Except Taz. I keep Taz.
I would keep Taz. The rest of them would all be gone.
Yeah.
I can't believe they let Mauro Ranallo slip through their fingers. That guy could have been the guy to announce. I mean, Don doesn't like him, but I'm just saying. Mauro Ranallo could have been the guy to. He's better than Sockface.
Mm-hmm.
He's better than Tony Schiavone.
Sockface. My left sack is better than Sockface.
Your left bag. The left bag. You got two bags.
I've always said Joey Styles would be a great addition to the announce team.
You think Joey Styles has gotten so sour for working for Vince?
I guarantee he has. I guarantee he has.
But you back up the Brinks truck for him. Like you pay Joey Styles whatever it is you're paying not Will Ospreay. What's the other guy's name? Ping Pong, Ricochet. Pay him what you're paying Ping Pong, and I'm sure you can get Joey Styles in there going, oh my God, by next Wednesday.
Absolutely. They let Kevin Kelly slip through their fingers. They could have had him.
Yeah.
Pablo, good to see you, brother. Salute to everyone. I miss Mean Gene. We all do, pal.
We all do. We've got his clone, Joe Tessitore, who sounds
put that
quite a bit
out.
He sounds a lot like him. I'd love to have him say that. Put that cigarette out. What do you mean by that, you prick? I got lawyers.
Mean Gene.
What a
the
guy.
Absolute best. So let's get back to how this show ran through. Like I said, no big bang lead in. pan outside to the Cracker Clan. Pac still has no pants. He's walking around the streets of Washington, D.C. pantsless. Yeah. Someone help this man. Why is this a thing with him? Can he at least once in his life put on some long pants? He's always shirtless and pantsless. I don't understand what the hell that is.
Sir, this is a 7-Eleven. You got to wear pants in here. I just want the taquitos. Damn it. I just want the taquitos. Sir,
Renee
you have to put on some pants.
Renee Beckett's backstage with Pockets and Switchblade Jay White, and his promo.
What's his name?
Just the grizzly.
What's his name?
Jay White. Switchblade Jay White.
Slingblade Jay White.
Slingblade. You are correct.
I thought we said it was going to be Slingblade Jay White from now on.
This was awful. And then Hangman comes storming in the door.
Awful's right there.
Out of nowhere. Hangman comes in the door, and Jay begins acting like a 10-year-old, throwing a fit.
Yeah.
This they thought was good, guys. They thought this, they pre-recorded this, looked at it, watched it, and said, that's good. Who's watching this shit? Who is producing this? Like and subscribe, hit the notification button.
I like how you slid that in there. Awful, let me ask you a question. You said something just a few minutes ago, and I want to verify this. Do you actually think there's 27 writers affiliated with this show?
I think there's 27 people that he goes to at any given time.
But they're not writers, though. There could be other agents backstage, other wrestlers, getting ideas from them.
Sure. And then coming up with his own ideas. But I believe one of the, might have been Fightful or Wrestling Observer, one of those two rags said that there were 27 writers. When I know there was a year ago, there was 8 or 9 because I posted them up on a tweet. But I heard it's now 27. But
I'm not going to doubt it at all. I'm really not.
Yeah,
it looks like apparently. That's what I was going to say. It looks like 27 people had different ideas for the show, and they all wrote their own segment. Two by two, they got together and wrote it, and then you got this shit. Because then we got Darby Allin screaming at Showtime. We get another Ocean Spray promo, another live shot of MJF, and I literally wrote down, this is a weird-ass open.
Mm-hmm.
None of this is making sense right now. Chris Steichletter's in here. I want to thank you, buddy. I hope you're doing well. Chris Steichletter battling double pneumonia, coming from the hospital room. That is commitment to the show. We appreciate you. But again,
you gotta love that.
Like we said earlier, that open was just so manic. It just went everywhere. All over creation. It didn't connect with anything. Like you said, no connective tissue. Great analysis. I appreciate that. Awful.
Do you know that it's so funny because they didn't even do the little things correctly. You had mentioned that in your Mercedes Moné match on the tweet, but they didn't even do the little things correctly with telling us whether the footage that we're watching is live earlier tonight, earlier today.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's because of those things that didn't bring anything connecting. I think you're exactly right. I think they had a Darby Allin promo. Then they went straight to Will Ospreay and his ugly English haircut, and I think they went to MJF. But okay, what time of day? What's happening now? Is this live? Is this the tape? You just don't know, and I don't think Tony knows either.
Bottles, anything else before we get to the Anna Jay versus Mercedes Moné match of the year?
I loved it when Justin Roberts was announcing the girls when they were in the ring. And as soon as the camera got on him and he opened his mouth, someone jumped in the camera frame right behind him. Mm-hmm. Did you see who that was?
Mm-hmm.
I did not.
Aubrey Edwards hopped.
Oh, shit. There was one fan. Why does she do every winner's match like this? That one. Now I'm going long. Go deep.
You always get a lot of this,
yeah.
Like she's casting a goddamn spell on somebody.
You know what it reminds me of is Street Fighter 2. You could. That's what it looks like to me every time. Like she's Ryu trying to throw the fireball.
She should come out dressed as Chun-Li for every match. Just dressed as Chun-Li.
No, don't. We got enough basement dwellers with enough lotion. You put that idea in somebody's head, you're going to see that shit at Halloween, and they're never coming out of their damn rooms.
Mom, where's my good tarp?
Mark Ass JD thinks Hangman should be champ. He sucks. Thank you again, Pablo. We got a lot to talk about on this match later. We got a lot to talk about Hangman.
He would be better than who we have now. That's all I can say. He would be better than the Moxley Plumbing Company holding that belt.
I agree. I agree, Johnny. I actually agree. Well, I will say Adam Page does keep to the gimmick. You know what I mean? Like, he's not breaking his gimmick. Doesn't look like they're going to try to tarnish it. You know, I don't think he's that smart to protect his characters so much, but he's doing a good job so far. I like the fact that he's just consistently pissed off.
Psycho Cowboy.
Well, he's not showing up. Well, they got him away with
Cowboy. He's from Virginia.
I know that. He thinks he's a cowboy.
I just found that out.
Like, cowboy shit over here in Richmond. What? Bitch, do you what?
Right.
Pay him a visit, Don.
Yeah. No, hell no. Anyway, we got this match. Thank you again, Pablo, very much for the super chat. We appreciate you, brother. I want to talk about this match because I wrote down, is there any chance we're going to see Camille finally get her come up? Is she going to come back? And if this match came and went, and here's spoiler alert, we never got to see Camille at all. We never saw her.
It's done. She's done.
So
if they need somebody to job out on Rampage or Dynamite or Collision rather by the end of the year or Collision next year, she'll job out on Collision in perpetuity until that contract's up. I hope she only signed a 1-year deal because they signed her, like I said last week or Tuesday, they signed her in February, didn't do anything with her. She talked about it on Twitter, which will get you in trouble right away there because he's on Twitter constantly. And he saw the tweets and said, oh, that's right, I signed her.
Straight to jail.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do? So they brought her in to be the Diesel for, Heartbreak Monet. Heartbreak
Monet.
Monet.
The worst Diesel to a Heartbreak Monet ever. I mean, talk about ineffective bodyguarding. Yeah, like week in and week out.
You know why? Here's my theory. Monet didn't want anybody to overshadow her.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
So they had to make Camille look ineffective.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Break her arm. Put her in a sling.
Yes. I liked how she recorded that interview.
Got one arm.
She recorded that interview with that guy where she talked about, they really haven't seen me to my full potential. Oh, I see you don't have the sling on. Oh, yeah, I don't have the sling on because I'm not released yet. She just didn't realize she was going to be interviewed and forgot to wear the kayfabe sling. That's all. She's not hurt. It's just a gimmick they were using to split them up. For some reason, I don't know why.
I got a question for you both. Did you notice that Mercedes Moné was wearing the remnants of the Cookie Monster outfit that Seth Rollins had on Monday night? Like, I guess they killed the Cookie Monster together, and she got the remnants of that bullshit he was wearing. And apparently she off Grimace on the way, too, because she was also wearing purple and blue. Like, they're just out here killing our favorite characters, our McDonald's commercial people, and then they're wearing them as trophies. Awful.
That wasn't the monster from Monsters Inc. That wasn't his
the blue,
yeah. Yeah.
No, they off the Cookie Monster Monday, and Seth was wearing that shit, and she got the remnants. I'm calling it now. That's why Sesame Street is coming off of Max, because they off these characters. I have now connected the dots. There's your conspiracy theory completed.
That's it. Marco Matacoli for $4.99. Thanks for the salt buck there, Marco. Love this 3-man booth tonight. Don, if there's 27 writers in AEW, then I'd take the 27 baseball players on the Chicago White Sox over them.
That's a shot.
There you go. There you go. Hey,
if anybody watched baseball this year, you know
give
just
me a good finish for a
Mercedes
Moné match. What's that?
If you watch baseball, that's a shot because the White Sox were the worst team in baseball. The absolute worst.
Even I know that, pal, and I'm not a big baseball fan. So
I think one game they had like 10 people show up to the game. Like 10 people.
Wow.
Okay. We're on the topic of Mercedes Moné. I'm going to throw this out there. Mercedes Moné and Tony Khan. Is there anything going on there?
No.
I hear this all the time.
I
don't think there's anything going on. I think she's flirty. I think so too. Buys into
Very
it.
flirty.
You know,
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think she knows how to play a sucker like him.
Oh, absolutely. That's what it is. He thinks she's pretty. He's never had friends. I'm your friend, Tony. Let's go somewhere. We'll hang out. Let's be good friends. I'll be your BFF.
Right.
Let's fix my grill. Get this overbite corrected.
Yeah.
This match is going on 20 minutes. Is it? I said, is this going to go 20 minutes? Because it felt like it was. They do the meal in a match commercial again. And I have been dogging this ever since they announced it. Who in the hell in the marketing department said, I've got an idea for a show. Let's call it Meal in a Match. That's the worst sounding show I've ever heard of in my life. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications channel. The super chat is open.
They also had the worst guest as well. Willow Nightingale, Orange Cassidy, and RJ City. Come on now. Who wants to eat dinner with them three?
Next week will probably be Abaddon and the Beast Mortos. Ladies and gentlemen, Frank Mortos and Julie Abaddon. Come on in. She's sitting there eating that disembodied hand. The zombie
Medium
girl.
well?
Yes.
Good Lord.
And we got another one there, pal. We've got Colin Petipas with a little Canadian. It's either a California 5 or a Canadian 5. I believe AEW has 27 writers. I know that, pal. I'm just having a little fun here. Why do I have to take away everything I love? I believe AEW has 27 writers. 5 of them live in Tony Khan's head. Yes, 5 of them. Probably 25 of them live in Tony Khan's head.
Yeah, right.
The problem is everybody there books their own crap. Jericho, Moxley's booking his own stuff. The Young Bucks book their own stuff. Kenny books his own stuff. Mercedes Monet's got Jennifer Pepper Whistle or whatever her name is to book all her stuff. And I'm sure she's pulling a Hulk Hogan, turning things down. And a lot of fingers in a lot of different pies there in that company. It's just too many cooks spoil the broth, as the old saying goes. Too many cooks in the kitchen.
That's the problem with AEW.
Got a question for you both.
Sure. I'm looking at a still picture of Don.
Notice? Yeah, I know. I'm telling
Don,
you
is your son downloading a 20 gigabyte Xbox game?
No.
While we're having this conversation.
It says the connection is bad in StreamYard. It says its connection in StreamYard itself is bad. Their actual lobby is bad right now for me. So I don't
bad
know
lobby. Bad
lobby.
lobby.
Anyway, I want to ask you this much. Did you notice the corner spot with Mercedes Moné and Anna Jay, where Anna Jay moved out of the way like a full 10 seconds, it seemed, before she tried to hit the move and did it anyway? Like, it was awful looking from the word go. None of that made any sense. This thing finally ends, thank God. They go to a submission series.
You mean when slow down a minute, cowboy. When she ran in with the knees and Anna Jay threw her legs up across the top rope.
Right.
Yes.
But Moné was 10 feet away. She could have stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she just kept going.
We got the Sawbucks coming in. Moné will marry and divorce TK, take all her shit. She will own AEW with Shane O'Mac. Then that would be a funny scenario right there. That would be hilarious.
She's working towards it. She's at first base right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone in that company who's a higher up has had coitus with Mercedes Moné. I'm just throwing that out there. I've always thought that.
I have in my notes, gentlemen, that there was a botch in the first minute. Moné runs from Jay, who's looking to lock up. Instead, they grab each other, and then Moné goes for the belly-to-back suplex, but doesn't get around all the way, and just pushes Jay to the mat for a cover. And she takes a flat back bump, and it looked sloppy as hell. That was the first minute. That's when I knew that Anna Jay was either nervous, green, or both.
She's probably nervous because, she's wrestling Mercedes Moné, the new it girl.
Right.
And she didn't want to screw the match up. So I can see that. She's having the best matches of her life, of her whole career. Awful. I don't know why you're casting aspersions on Mercedes Moné. I mean, this is what she just said. She's having the best matches of her life in this company. Wrestling, I don't know, Britt Baker.
Yeah, and making the most money doing it. That's awesome.
Where's the dentist? That's all I want to know. Where is the dentist?
She's still in the waiting room.
Dude, when she's
in timeout. She's in timeout.
Yes. Yeah. She's in the
She's
corner with the dunce cap on.
Very bad girl. She's been a very bad girl. She's not playing well in the cat box. She had to go home to do her dentistry. She's not coming back. But I want to cover this real quick before we move on.
Yep, got it.
This shit got out of hand at the end with the pin sequence, and I put it out there on Twitter. You noticed it. They go to this pin submission sequence. They roll to the pin from the submission. They roll back to the submission, and Aubrey Edwards is asking the back of Anna Jay's head if she submits. I can't see your face. Are you giving up? Are you giving up? And the AEW neckbeards defense of this was
she saying
the defense was, he can still hear her. They tap too, pal. Like, it's all about the aesthetics of the situation. If you can't see what's going on, none of this is making sense. This is ass from the word go. Aubrey Edwards is the second worst referee in this company, and this was a prime example. Out of place, not moving where she should, all of this. All she had to do next was stand up and do a 3 count with her foot, and I'd be like, that's it. The horse is out of the barn. We're not getting this back.
I think she's the biggest. That's poor choice of words. She is the worst, the number one worst referee in the company. Now, Rick Knox, or the guy who's the name. Okay. Rick, he's horrendous. He's horrendous. Yes. And who's the guy that referees the Young Bucks matches? Who doesn't even count?
The bald guy.
There's 2 bald guys. Bryce Edwards. Bryce Edwards. Bryce Edwards is horrendous.
Yeah.
Rick Knox is the older bald guy, but Bryce Edwards is the younger bald guy who would referee Kenny's matches and the Young Bucks matches. The only good referee they've got there is Paul Turner, the black-haired guy. He's almost got a buzz cut sometimes. You know who I'm talking about. He used to be in Ring of Honor. He used to be a Ring of Honor referee before Tony bought Ring of Honor, and he moved him over to. He looks like a ref. Yes, he does. He looks like a good ref. And I have no problem with that guy whatsoever. But Edwards is horrendous because she wants to be the center of attention. Just be a wrestler. Just train to be a wrestler. Now I got to go and... Why? Why?
Well, look, the connection's back. The connection's back. I told you I just had to reset the whole thing, so we're good. I'm happy now. This thing was over.
Maybe that's a bad connection on the left side.
Maybe. Quit putting me over there.
I had a good connection.
See, here we go again. The FTR segment was next. I got something to talk about this. Because this is,
please.
Boy, this touched all the buttons that made no sense. FTR said you tried to kill a man. You left us for dead. All I'm saying is don't leave your house. We might show up at your door, but we're definitely going to be in Asheville on January 1st. What was this rambling mess of a promo supposed to send home? I had to rewind this and watch it twice. None of this made any sense. Did you guys notice that at all? Holy shit, it was a special needs bus hitting a dumpster fire. Awful.
They're not hurt. They're home with their families. They're not hurt.
That's not the point.
It's all BS. Plus the fact that if you think they live in Asheville, North Carolina, where all those people were displaced, they weren't living in shacks on the mountains. The bald and gun FTR were not living in a shotgun shack on a mountain somewhere having it swept away. It's all horseshit is what it is. It's all bullshit. To think that they were just getting their back shaved by the Usos. How long ago? Just 5 years, 6 years ago. Just think. They were at the pinnacle of their career, and now they're languishing in this company. Wrestling bums like Mortos, and I can't say Lance Archer is a bum, Commander, and other of that ilk. You know what I mean?
And soon to be facing the Moxley Combat Club.
You call them what they are. They are the Cracker Clan. That's what they are.
No, I'll be polite.
I will keep to that for life, because if you design your entire identity after a racist Australian movie, I'm going to call you racist shit. That was a horrible idea. Even if you got that idea, you should have never been let it known public. That is just bad PR from the word go. Awful. What did you think of this wrestling? You tried to kill a man and we stopped you.
Yeah, it made no sense. First off, I like their living room, though. You know, it was very ambient. What they were doing there, sitting there telling us about this whole endeavor makes no sense to me because I'm like, okay, we barely saw you. So you guys helped save a man from disaster. Then I like how they didn't expect how that there was going to be some sort of payback. Like, we were just minding our business, saved this man's life. Why don't you just leave us alone? Like, come on now. That's not how wrestling works. And no one's looking forward to this matchup, by the way.
Nope. Is anybody looking forward to anything in this company? I'm looking for this is what I'm looking forward to. And this is what they should have done last night to make things interesting. I know they got to get through World's End. Awful, tell me what you think of this scenario. The Moxley Plumbing Company comes out and beats up everybody. At the end of the show, the Hurt Syndicate comes out and cleans house. And Moxley's down. Marina Shafir's jacked up in the corner. They take the briefcase away that contains the belt, open it up, and Lashley holds the belt up, and MVP's leaning over. Moxley says, "Newsflash, this isn't your company anymore either." And they walk off with the belt. And now the plumbers have to go get the belt from the Hurt Syndicate.
Right.
That I tune in. Now. I would gladly tune in the next show just to see what takes place after that. But that's the freshest thing, Johnny, they can do.
Is that it's going to be buried within a whole bunch of crap, and it won't even be put on at the proper hour. We're expecting something like that to happen at the 8 o'clock hour, the 9 o'clock hour,
right,
or towards the end. This is something that Tony Khan would probably put right before the 9 p.m. hour, and then have it bookended by 2 promos that we don't know whether it was later that day or earlier that week or whatever.
It'll be Learning Tree, Mercedes Moné as a bookends, and let's go to the ring for Commander versus Beast Mortos.
The whole thing will get lost in the sauce because Excalibur and Tony Schiavone will not have paperwork that will to lead them to tell the audience what is going on, how this is going to affect the company, so on and so forth. It's going to be like, hey, we're going to be talking to Mariah May right after this. That's how they do it.
Schiavone looked horrible last night.
I don't want to get into how he looked. I'm not going into that. I'm not going there. He's a 70-year-old man.
He looked like he's been constipated. It looks like he's been constipated all week. He looked horrible.
James Murphy, my man, is here. Y'all remember when FTR actually mattered? Hurts my soul seeing their booking go to complete hell. James, I want to thank you for joining tonight, buddy. Thank you so much for the super chat. I hope you have a night off tonight, James. My man, James Murphy, is forever working the late shift. We appreciate you, James. Thanks for tuning in. I do remember when they mattered. It's a damn shame what's come to them. It's a damn shame they were in an angle a week ago where Johnny and I talked about this, where you're 20 feet away from a guy that's having shit poured down his throat, and you have to pretend like you don't see this for the first part of your segment and act. And then you have to suddenly be like, holy shit, is that guy getting murdered? Like, what are we doing here?
Right. Hey, there's a guy 20 feet away. They're holding him down. He's got a funnel in his mouth, and somebody's going to pull Drano down it. That's not right.
I didn't see that a minute ago. I know, right?
Do you have your gun? It's in my car. Oh, shit. Well, let's go do something.
Yeah.
So again,
it's horrendous.
It's horrible. But next segment, I want to get to this because MJF came out in a 70s Hanukkah pimp suit.
Hang on a second. I want to say one thing to James Murphy. James, when they re-signed with AEW, which no one thought they were going to do because Hunter was in charge of WWE booking, everyone thought they were going to go back, and Bald FTR said on Twitter, why are you upset? Because we're making more money than we ever made in our lives, and we only have to work 1 day a week?
Damn right. Why would I leave that?
Why leave? That's a big selling point for any geek that wants to go to that company.
No incentive to leave, nor incentive to work.
Right.
Very eloquent there. Very eloquent, awful. Very good.
Worst part about guaranteed contracts in wrestling right now. But like I said, MJF comes out in a 70s Hanukkah pimp suit. I don't know what he was thinking with this thing. It looked ludicrous on the face of it. Says Santa's not real. We get a Santa chat. He then cuts a promo on a small, freakishly yellow baby. So now we can body shame, I guess. The AEW neckbeards, the diehards. Don't you body shame anybody, man. Oh, this is so great. We can now make fun of how small and yellow he is. They are the hypocrites that I always knew they were. They make no sense. Zero.
When I body shamed Adam Cole on Twitter, when I first got on Twitter, the first guy that went after me was Sean Ross Sapp. And then he blocked me, and he unblocked me to give me some shit, and he blocked me, and then he unblocked me again to give me some more crap, and then he was sending me DMs. I just never responded. And then all these women were in my DMs, not for anything sexual or anything like that, of course, bitching to me about my wrestling point of view. Oh, no. Well, you know how he operates. I'm sure he's going after you, too. And I just block. So I blocked him. So even if he unblocked me, he still couldn't comment or write me anymore or anything like that. I didn't realize he was a psychopath because I used to watch the Fightful video channel on YouTube. I used to watch all those videos. I thought he had a good show with Salcedo and a couple other guys, Jimmy Van. And little did I realize he was a psychopath. So it is what it is. Anyway, go ahead, Don.
No, awful. Go ahead.
What was I saying?
It was about the MJF Hanukkah outfit.
yeah. He doesn't take himself seriously. And when he doesn't take himself seriously, no one else is. And that's just the bottom line. And I'll never forget. I think I accurately predicted his downfall. And it was the night that he promised Daniel Garcia a match at Wembley Stadium where he was completely neutered. And for like those few weeks where he was trying to play babyface, after that, I knew it was over. In just 2 short weeks, they got rid of their top star. It's a known pattern that AEW is known for. Like they take the top star and they just bring them down to earth.
No, you've hit it because it's been amazing to watch the descent he's on. Because this guy a year ago was one of the top stars, not just in AEW. He was a top star in wrestling. You tuned into AEW, even if you hated the product. I got to see what MJF is going to say. You had to see what he was going to say. And it's just gone to shit ever since he got involved with anything. One person, his name is Adam Cole, who refuses to work out, that wants to play Xbox, that refuses to tan, that's too small for the business, that can talk, that he can talk on the stick. But when you see him in the ring, it is ludicrous to think he could go toe-to-toe with a guy like Bobby Lashley. It is absurd to have that on its face value, let alone make me watch it on a nationally syndicated show. And this is where it gets even worse. Adam Cole responses on a clearly pre-taped response video where he says the diamond ring is going to be outside of the ring, and now I've got 2 friends to make sure you can't get to it first. When did the faces become the guys that had factions that was a 3-on-1 battle? None of this on the actual basis of the face makes any sense to even give a shit about Adam Cole. He's the heel in this. He was the devil. Now he's ganging up on MJF. How is this booking making any logical sense?
You remember we just turned on the TV one Wednesday night, and all of a sudden Adam Cole's a face, MJF's a heel. No explanation. That was done about 2 months ago. MJF's a face. I mean, the heel. Adam Cole's a face again.
Right.
Because he can come back.
When you get injured, you become a face in AEW. You know what I mean? So when you come back, you're automatically a good guy because you've got something going against you. You've got a bum knee, or you used to have a torn ACL or a broken freaking neck, or whatever it may be.
Or in Jamie Hayter's case, a missing tooth. Girl, will you fix that grill?
What is going on with Jamie Hayter?
When she started smiling, I couldn't figure out what I had to pause it. I was like, what the shit is with her smile? Right here. It's like a broken tooth. You're in America, honey. We got great. You work with Britt Baker. Give her a call.
Right.
Oh, they're not friends anymore.
God's sakes.
In real life, they're not friends anymore. That's why when she came back.
Give a rat's ass.
I'm just saying.
Give me someone to go to then.
Right.
Fix your grill.
Time Machine, Jamie Hayter. It looks like she stepped out of a 1970s Vogue magazine with the 1970s tops, pants, the 70s hairstyle. It's that 70s show is what it is. Backstage with Jamie Hayter. Horrendous.
Still no identity to her.
No identity.
To her character.
Nothing. They're
I've
just
said it
throwing her out there.
A lot of these guys, a lot of their AEW talents are one-dimensional. They don't like to pretend that they have vulnerabilities or an extra layer to them that could make them more, appealing to an audience, more relatable to an audience. Everybody's just a one-trick pony, one-note character.
It's a televised indie show with a big budget is all it is. And they have no, they're one-trick ponies because they have no backstory. They're not built up to become stars or larger than life. Now, in WWE, in the era of Vince, he would give a guy a chance, but if you went out there and fumbled a promo, or you went out there and didn't show any fire in the ring or anything like that, you were gone. Yeah. You were in catering for the rest of your life, and then you were released 6 months later. That's how he played. Tony, he didn't want to do that. He wants to be good guy Tony. But I mean, look at Cassidy. Look at everybody in the Dark Order.
I'm going to say it again.
Go ahead.
Fix your freaking grill, honey. Fix your grill. That shit was distracting from. I couldn't hear anything she said because when that toothless wonder would smile or she would sneer, it threw me off completely. She could have been telling me directions to her house and her phone number, and I would have never remembered because all I could see was a toothless wonder looking back at me through my TV screen.
Doesn't anybody backstage got a box of chiclets and a tube of crazy glue? We could
somebody help her out.
Just right then and there.
Just chew it down.
We could have done it.
What
right
if she
up.
leaned into it though? What if she's just like, I'm just a bloke that has missing teeth.
I'm
loves to fight.
A weathered English female wrestler that loves to fight, and this is what I got going on. But it's not getting her anywhere. She's in I won't say she's in the AEW gulag with Ricky Starks and Miro and Baker and everything, but she's dropped down to lower card now. She used to be a main eventer, but because she's got a problem with Baker, who Tony Khan's got a problem with, and Monet's got a problem with Baker. How come Hater is being hated on because she's got a problem with Baker too? You figure they would all unite. Put Hater with Monet.
You think they would all reunite and get a dental plan for her, but I'm going to move on now. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notifications button. The super chat's open. If you got something to say, we have a very special guest. Awful Wrestling is here. You love him. You know him from Twitter. He likes to let the neckbeards know what time it is. Kenny Omega is coming back, and it's not going to be an AEW. What the hell is going on with this company? You're paying one of your biggest stars some of your top money. He's been gone for a year, and his big debut isn't even on your show. You're going to let him debut on the New Japan, the dead brand, the brand you stole all their talent from. You're going to let him show back up on New Japan Pro Wrestling because, like you said, Bottles, Tony Khan's a man-child. He doesn't know how to say no, and he'd rather be your friend than your boss. This was the dumbest thing I heard all night. I am not a Kenny Omega fan, and even I would like to see this guy return because at least he brings something extra to the ring. This shit is horrible. Why would you let that happen? I'm going to ask Awful. Why would he let that happen?
I think this is a promise made turned into promise kept. And it's happened at a time when AEW desperately needs stars, but Kenny Omega has probably got a contract that stipulates like, yeah, I can do this, that, or the other, and I could do it at any time. He probably chose this time to come back to New Japan Pro Wrestling and by extension AEW. But this is one of those things I believe where Tony bit his, wanted to do something about, Kenny Omega returning to AEW quicker than and New Japan Pro Wrestling. But he made a promise so long ago when everything was roses and honey, and now Kenny Omega's seeing that the ship is sinking, is just like, all right, I'm going to just do what I want, and because he said I could.
So you think Kenny knows that it's going down the tubes? Yeah,
Kenny told us. Didn't he tell us like a month and a half ago, like
that
what he
AEW doesn't need me?
Yeah. And like he doesn't need AEW because he sees what's going on. He sees he reads the tea leaves. I mean, you don't want to be a part of something where your one EVP just rolled out and became the biggest star in history. Your two other EVPs, where are they at right now? Like, what are they doing right now? They take these sabbaticals every 6-7 months, and they don't even get to wind up their motor long enough to stick around and they could never really.
They just showed up. They just showed up at a New Japan show last week.
Yes, they did. And they're going to be on this show with Kenny. They went away because one of them supposedly hurt their shoulder, and now they're going to show back up with him. Again, this is a man-child running a shit show. The next segment on AEW last night saw Christian Cage and Shibata get into a match with 2 8th graders. Why is this happening? Why is Nick Wayne and Hook a thing in today's modern wrestling? Look, Awful, I don't know how you feel about Nick Wayne and Hook, but they're just too damn small. For me personally, there's nothing these guys can ever do that's ever going to make me say they're professional wrestlers, simply because Hook is supposed to come off as this badass suplex machine because his dad's name is Taz. Nothing about this guy is intimidating. He's got shitty white trash North Jersey tattoos on his chest that looks like he got them at a Golden Girls convention. It's the worst shit I've ever seen on a human being. Why would you decide to put a shitty, grayed out pit bull in the middle of your chest is beyond me. This thing I knew from the beginning of it was the worst thing I was going to see all night. I wasn't disappointed. Thank God Nick Wayne's mom's got huge boobs and is showing them off to distract everybody in the damn fan base from what's happening in the ring. The best part of Nick Wayne is his mom walking around with cleavage. You want to know who's impressed with her cleavage right now? Is
Christian
Mrs.
Cage.
Beefcake. Mrs. Beefcake and her olive loaves are jealous.
Missy Beefcake, the great Missy Beefcake.
That's her.
And her leathery cans. Oh, she's fantastic.
God almighty.
Oh, have you ever just when you're after the show, just Google Missy Beefcake and see what pops up.
I did, yeah. 2 things will pop up.
I know it's not going to pop up.
Oh.
But yeah, listen, Nick. The reason why we don't appreciate Nick Wayne or Hook is because, first off, they don't even look like they pay their dues. It would be one thing if they were 20 years into the game, but we know that they're both rookies and they don't have the aura. They don't have the, as the cool kids like to say, they don't have the riz to get on, to be on national television, nor do they have the skill set to cut promos, to even do the basics in ring stuff. So that's why they have to do, the Cirque du Soleil type of professional wrestling that they're trying to force everybody down everybody's throats. And bigger than that, these guys would have been, they would never have made it through the ranks in professional wrestling even 10 years ago. They would have been stretched right out of the business. I don't give a damn if it's Taz's kid or not, or who's Nick Wayne's pop?
Buddy Wayne.
Exactly.
Buddy Wayne.
Exactly. By the way.
That's what I'm saying. Oh yeah. Well, my condolences. But
hey, look, if they're going to use it for nickel, by God, so are we.
Yeah, I mean, come on now. Yeah,
well,
these guys are young guys, and they're underweight, underutilized, and have no character. Once again,
but they tower. They tower over Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. I guess that's all that matters. They're taller than those.
Darby Allin is 2 dimensionals. He's actually got a personality. Does he have vulnerability? He's got charisma.
Darby Allin?
Yeah.
Dude, you guys are killing me now. All their charisma is, with all these guys in this company. You knew me when I was living in my car. You let me into your house. I slept on your couch.
Yeah. He reminds us of our deadbeat nephew.
They all got the same sob story. All these guys do. It's just, I just can't get over it. But you know who really impressed me in this match? Shibata.
Yeah, he can go.
He can go. He actually tried to put on an actual wrestling match with, with Nick Wayne and with Christian Cage. And I actually enjoyed. I ain't gonna lie, I enjoyed his part of the match. Usually,
I didn't. I didn't
for
take any bad
for a
notes
man that had his brain removed and put back in.
It's amazing,
and I know it's true because Dave Meltzer said so.
It's amazing he's still alive.
It's amazing he's wrestling that well.
Anything else you would like to add to this match, Alpha? Because it ended with well, here's what I also something noticed. Hook gives the "Let's go" thing to the crowd. Did y'all notice this? Which is the worst freaking thing you can do as a face. When you're giving me the "Let's go" chant, I'm out. I don't want to cheer for you. Now I want to throw popcorn buckets at your ass because that's the worst shit you can do. Don't tell me "Let's go." Do a better act. Give me a better performance. Have some charisma. He's got none of that. He's not his father. He is a wandering whiff of a Zesta cracker that I don't want to see it anymore. He's a salty.
The first move of the match, Nick Wayne grabbed his broken arm and twisted around and put it in a hammerlock. Did you see that?
Yes.
And Hook never sold it. He went down on one knee, and then he got out of it. He never screamed and held his arm. At least Cowboy Bob Orton would have at least screamed. He would have at least yelled with his broken arm, his perpetually broken arm. Yeah, that cast went for 10 years.
That's the other problem with those gentlemen. They don't emote. They don't use this at all.
Right.
You're right.
You can just see right in their eyes where they're trying to think of the next set of moves or the sequence that comes after this or what have you. But they are not into it. And I think that's the big difference between this company and WWE. It's almost like WWE almost makes that a primary thing to go to. Like, if anything else, do you have good emotions on your face? And I think that's how Ava has been able to skate by The Rock's daughter.
Dude, it sure is hell in her promos.
So horrible. So horrible.
Well, it's her bloodline. I'm sorry.
She's going to get the belt.
Oh,
that'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? I'm surprised they haven't moved her up just to be with the new bloodline. And my father said she could do the talking for the new bloodline.
Oh man, the new Vicky Guerrero, it could possibly
work.
Be. It could.
Too bad. Work. 2 blown out knees before she even made the main roster or got on NXT TV. She's got that slather on makeup. She's not exactly the prettiest girl in town, but you just 3 cans of spray paint is not going to make a difference around those eyes and on that face.
I thought you were going to say 3 cans of Mad Dog.
Mad Dog. 4 Loko.
You want to know what else doesn't make a difference?
What's that?
Anything Chris Jericho's involved in, because he's in the next segment. He's a Canadian claiming he's the king of New York now. Full stop. That's what he said. And did anybody else notice the lame ass New York baseball shirt he had on, which is the cheesiest shit you could have, right? I get that they can't have the Yankees or the Mets logo on their shit, but at least you could have worn some pinstripe shirts or something to show an affiliation with the Yankees, because that would have actually mattered. Everything he's doing, he's trying to reset the entire learning tree, and he's making it worse. How did you just make that worse, Chris Jericho? You bloated, vodka-drinking asshat of a Canadian. Please go away. And I got heat with Chris Jericho because about a year ago, he and I got into it on Twitter because somebody said Chris Jericho is going to keep being one of the main stars of wrestling forever. I can't wait till he goes back to WWE. I said Chris Jericho will never have another meaningful match in WWE for his entire career. And he got pissed and told me to F myself for that. Where was I wrong?
Where's the lie?
Exactly.
He's got that turn of a phrase. Don, go F your ass.
Yeah, that's it.
Go F your ass. Like, who would voluntarily do that? I don't know. But Don, to be honest with you, when I saw him ice skating with the belt over top of his shoulder, the Ring of Honor, I fast forward through the segment. I couldn't watch anymore.
Well, you missed nothing. Awful. Did you catch anything on this?
I missed that one as well.
Thank God. Did we get a 12 days? Well, we get a 12 days of AEW commercial for their merchandise. And I got my own song. On the first day of Christmas, AEW gave to me some shitty wrestling on my TV. You're all welcome.
I got a commercial for AEW. I got a slogan for AEW. By and for the ADHD wrestling fan.
It would work.
They all have ADHD. Like you said, awful. They're in the ring going, what do we agree on? What was the next spot? Okay. And what was the next spot after that? Whisper to one another, Hook was the next spot. And the fans are like looking around. They're eating nachos and they're on their phones and doing all this bullshit. There was a guy who was online. He said, I went to Dynamite tonight. I'll give credit to the DC crowd. They were hot all night, which they were pretty quiet. From what I understand.
They had a good crowd.
They
really did have a good crowd.
Johnny. Yeah, they were okay.
They were okay.
They weren't terrible. They weren't terrible.
No, he said a few thoughts. Mm-hmm. No one felt larger than life.
Yeah,
gave me the feeling of wow, I'm in the same building as X wrestler. Darby and Ospreay was a fun match outside of that stupid apron bump. That's what
we're going to get there. We're going to get there.
Right.
We're going to get there in a minute. We're going to start getting through this now.
Don't get fired.
By the way, thank you.
Just calm down.
Don't you tell me what to do. You're not my boss. Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notifications button. The super chat is open. We want to thank Awful Wrestling for coming on tonight as a special guest. We get Mariah May promo on Thunder Rosa. She showed her tits more, and I guess that's the best part of her entire thing. I got nothing else to say about this.
Yes.
It's just, it is what it is now. This company has decided we aren't going to concentrate on the women actually having feuds. It's tits and ass. That's where we're going. Am I wrong?
They thought it worked for the last last several weeks with Mina Shirakawa and Mariah May. So they're just going to pull that rabbit out of the hat again, see if it works a second time with Thunder Rosa.
Yeah, that's not the way to be going
that's
on
not
that
the
one.
one. You don't want to go that way. With Thunder Rosa can wrestle though. So
I am the only one.
She's no Harley Cameron, pal.
I don't know why we haven't seen Mariah May and Mercedes Moné even like be on in the same camera shot by now. Like, you've got to pull these triggers now.
Why wouldn't Moné say, "Hey, I want that main belt. I want to be the women's heavyweight champion of AEW"? Why not?
Unless they've got a laundry list of names from the independents that we're supposed to be excited about, that Moné is supposed to be wrestling soon. Like, oh, I'll be facing Athena next month or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Satchel ass.
Yeah.
Bring her in. Bring Athena in. 2 years, Ring of Honor champion. Nobody would know it. Nobody would know it.
Forever.
Nope.
Haven't seen her in forever.
She has been in catering. I'm certain of it.
Gotta be. Because nobody's watching Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Tony Schiavone's in the ring next. He brings out Ping Pong. The Hurt People come out, and we get the chant of "We Hurt People."
Yes.
They're over. The Hurt People are over.
Yes.
I don't care what you call them, Hurt Business, Hurt Lock, whatever the shit they are. This faction is the best thing they have in this company right now. And if Tony Khan doesn't have the sense, God gave a horse to get out of the rain, it should give him the sense to say, I've got to push Bobby Lashley to the moon. I got to push Ben to the moon. They should have the two main straps in here, and I've got to do something with them. This is freaking over. And you know who's not over? Is Ricochet, who I watched commit career suicide on this show. This was, to this point, the worst segment I've ever seen Ricochet have. Ping Pong was an ass kisser in this whole thing, a brown noser. It came off like a fart in church at best.
He left the ring, and the crowd was quiet, going,
Quiet.
That's it? What's going on?
Quiet.
Library quiet. That's one thing you don't want.
But give credit to the Hurt Business, because they got rid of him as like a potential like storyline. Like, no, we don't want you involved in anything that we're doing. And so they got rid of him quickly, grabbed him up, choked him, tore up the MVP business card. I liked it. I had no problem with it, to be honest with you.
Awful, do you think he burned a bridge when last week or the week before he came out and said, without me, there wouldn't be AEW? You think he burned a bridge?
You know what? Is Tony that savvy? Is Tony that? Okay.
No,
he's very, very sensensitive to things like that.
He's sensitive, but he's not savvy.
Yeah, because this is something Vince would do, and I think, I made mention long ago, like Jade Cargill being on television is a strike 2 against her, and I think that this might be one of those types of things where it's just like, Ricochet, you're not bringing in the money we paid, or we're not bringing in the ratings. We paid you a lot of money. You were a shit talker. You said a lot of things online. Let's just make quick work of you and send you on your way back to Collision/Rampage.
I don't think he's worried about people. He's not worried about people bringing in wrestling. I'm bringing in ratings because he's got Mercedes Moné and she's a channel changer, and Moxley. Those guys are all channel changers. I'd love to see the quarter hours for the end of that show last night. Yeah, but I really think that Tony's so sensitive. Someone, either he saw it or someone came in and said, "Did you see what Trevor Mann said online about this company?"
Oh, that was Dax.
You think Dax did?
If anybody did a snitching job, it was Dax.
Oh, it's Dax. He's right.
Yeah.
No, he's right on that. It's Dax.
Oh,
Dax would snitch on his own mom.
Yes.
He's a snitching bitch.
Oh, yeah. Honey,
the best part.
Dax said you were drinking tequila out in the backyard with the guy down the street, the Chinese guy down the street. Oh, I wasn't doing that, Mom. I saw you. You didn't have any pants on. I could see him doing that. He'll rat out his own mother.
Oh, he would, for sure.
He would.
Well, the worst part about this was that we got the Shelton Benjamin versus Sheepskinner match, and I didn't want to watch any part of this. I didn't want to watch any part of this.
Really?
The goat boy? Frank Mortos, the goat boy?
Yeah.
I was waiting for him to get a little sassy with Shelton. See Shelton stretch him. Some of these Mexican guys, like Roosh and Commander, they get a little antsy, pal. Where's Roosh been, by the way?
I don't
like to see somebody.
Why?
I like to see somebody get beat up on TV. I like to see a mugging on TV.
Why was this allowed to go as long as it did?
One
of these guys, hold on. One of these guys looks like $1 million. The other guy looks like he would literally date a goat if it was an option. This shit was awful. Go ahead, Awful. You've got some good notes on this. I can tell you're ready to get into this one.
Yeah, I said Mortos took forever to arrive to the ring. If you remember, there was like maybe 2 minutes that went by where Shelton and MVP are just sitting in the ring. They're not doing anything. And then Mortos's music plays. But yeah, just like you said, Don, match took too long. I said, I wrote down, Sheldon gives this guy way too much offense. Way too much offense. The match took an entire segment, I believe.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
went to a commercial break.
Right. You make quick work of this guy. Mortos looks impressive when he's not in the ring with Shelton Benjamin. But when Shelton Benjamin was in the ring, he towered over Mortos and was throwing him around like a little rag doll. At that point, maybe 5-6 minutes, end this match, Shelton goes over easily. You don't have to give Mortos anything. He's going to lose this Continental Classic. And what's he even doing in the tournament in the first?
He's got no points. He's got no points. 0 points. And Tony Schiavone said when Shelton's suplexing Mortos around the ring, he's lifting a man that big. I'm thinking, MFR, he's the size of Orange Cassidy. He's the height of Orange Cassidy.
No, what he meant to say was he's lifting a bit, man, that big and round. That's what he was leaving out right there. That's
he's throwing call the SPCA. He's throwing a goat around the ring. Call PETA.
Yeah.
You're right, Awful. It shouldn't have gone this long. And then we get the Mark Briscoe come in the ring. And I hate seeing Mark Briscoe get this shit on him because I like Mark Briscoe. He shouldn't have been out there. I'd like to see Daniel Garcia get the shit kicked out of him every chance he gets. I think that guy sucks. The dancing goof that he is, you're never getting that out of my mind as long as I live. That you tried to make that a thing. You are a dancing goof of a moron. I will never forget it. I hope like hell Shelton Benjamin takes that title off him and walks around with it with his teeth like a damn dog with a chain. This is how it should have ended. Again, Mark Briscoe, I'm sorry you came out there and got your ass kicked, but the Hurt people beat the shit out of everybody, and I was glad
Daniel Garcia came out first to absolutely no reaction at all.
Nothing.
And he was talking about, I'd love to go down to the ring and face you guys. And MVP was just like, well, you'd be stupid to do that. I don't care. That's when Mark Briscoe and Daniel Garcia came down there, got trounced by the Hurt Syndicate, and you're exactly right. Shelton Benjamin should have. That's what I'm saying. Like this Continental Classic tournament, man. It's just like putting up some premium grade matches that could make some money for this company, but they chose to throw it on free television. And for what? 625,000 motherfuckers? Come on now. You got to get better than that.
Sorry, YouTube.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
No, you're fine. No, look, we're getting late in the hour, pal. We appreciate you joining us now. But you're right, man. It's just why? And again, I'm not the guy that's like, oh God, did that match have 5 stars? I'm the guy that wants you to tell me a story in the ring. Right. I get it's a tournament, but tell me a story in the ring. This didn't tell me a story in any way, shape, or form because I don't give a shit about the sheepskinner. I care about Shelton Benjamin. So why am I watching Shelton Benjamin struggle against this lower than mid-card piece of trash when I know Shelton Benjamin, even at his age, looks like $1 million? He looks the part of an ass-kicking machine.
And the entire audience was around Shelton Benjamin getting the quick win. Like anytime he did a suplex, the crowd erupted. They were not for end it, get rid of it.
Right, they wanted it over with.
They wanted it over with, and they got 50-50 booking. Listen, you could have still made Shelton Benjamin. You could still made Mortis had you given like maybe 80-20 booking. Shelton Benjamin slips on a banana peel after 5-6 minutes of just throwing this guy around, and then Mortis gets a little bit of heat, maybe even hits his finisher, but maybe Shelton kicks out at 2 and then comes back and trounces the man. But the way that this television show, the way that these matches are written, it's almost like the agents have nothing to do with each other. There's no connected any like you can see moves in one match that you'll see in the very next match. I think I mentioned it in the ratings video a few weeks back. Like there were 4 matches that had trading forearms. Like how does that happen? You can't do stuff like that.
Right. Just
Agreed.
like somebody's going through the announce table tonight. Well, you can't do it in your match. Well, why can't we?
Right.
Because so-and-so is going through the announce table in the main event. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I don't think anything like that is happening backstage.
No.
From the time they get into the building till ring to bell time. It's a shame.
They want to do their own thing. They want to get all their shit in, and somebody's got to be the bad guy in this company and tell them you're not doing this. Okay, go home. Told you not to go through the announce table. So-and-so's doing the main event. You're done. Go home. You're suspended.
Right.
Suspend a few guys. Send them home without pay. But Tony doesn't want to do that. He needs a bad guy. That's why, remember that committee, Don?
Oh, yeah. The one that doesn't exist
committee?
All of a sudden? It's just gone?
Yeah, well, Brian Danielson's no longer there, so he was the head of the disciplinary committee.
But there is one on on Twitter, and you should follow him. He's great friends with Awful Wrestling. I know they do the show together. Great follow, by the way.
Disciplinary committee, yes.
Yes, indeed.
Great follow.
Okay, I got to ask you this. Well, I got you here. I got to ask you this, AEW.
Sure.
AEW neckbeards. Is he the funniest man in the IWC?
Yes. I mean, I take a lot from him. And
hilarious.
Yeah.
We have from the best.
In the private chat. An absolute blast.
He is amazing. Absolutely.
Tell him to like my shit, pal. I follow him. I dig him. I like his stuff.
I'll let him know.
Well, I'd appreciate it.
I don't like that gentleman. He's.
I know. So we get the next segment here. Renee Baguette is backstage with Ricochet, and this goes horribly off the rails.
He's
just like that.
He's trying to make that a thing.
I don't give a shit what he's doing. This was bad. The entire segment was awful, and this is why it got even worse. And I'm not even kidding on this. I like Swerve Strickland a lot. His go home line was, "That's why you're still bald," was the weakest line. Awful. You've already got it. Go ahead, man. That shit was his weakest.
He would have got booed out of the cookout with a line like that.
For real.
I mean, and he like laughed and then realized how cringe of a comment it was, and then stopped laughing while Prince Nana was still hilariously in tears thinking about it. But yeah, Swerve Strickland had what was his? He served no legitimate purpose in this. He
just showed up.
No,
like a drunk uncle on Thanksgiving. He just fucking showed up.
I'm telling you, that kid's got heat backstage, and they're piling it on him. In this one episode, he called the man a turd on TV.
Yes.
He called him a turd. A bald turd, basically, is what he called him. He's got heat backstage with the higher-ups of this company, and they're piling it on him. This is why he's got such a high, inflated, egotistical opinion of himself. This is why he's not in WWE anymore, because he thought he was going to be a millionaire. He very well may be at the end of this contract when it's all paid out to him, a millionaire. But he's a charisma vacuum. Nothing he says you believe. He needs acting lessons. What more can you do with this guy? I'd say go enter an acting workshop. Take 2 weeks off. Show me what you got when you come back with promos. You got to do something, Ricochet, Trevor, whatever you want to go by. You got to do something because Your whole career's floundering right now, and then just job him out and let him go. That's all you can do.
That's one thing I've noticed about Ricochet. Like he's got no mean face. He doesn't look angry. He doesn't look like he can look right through you.
Right.
And not to mention, he doesn't want to be the underdog. That's the problem with these guys. And he they don't want to be underdogs. They don't understand that character. They don't understand redemption arcs or the hero's journey at all, and how can we benefit. So
he wants to be the main eventer.
You know what else he's got?
What's that?
A goddamn awful overbite. Fix that shit. You people make enough money. Fix your teeth. Go back and look at Roman Reigns circa 2015 and look at his grill now and tell me that didn't help his character out to the 10th degree. If your grill is jacked, no one is going to look at you without thinking, your grill is jacked.
Right.
The Toothless Wonder earlier tonight, Mercedes Monet's overbite, this guy's overbite. Fix your teeth. You make enough money.
Right.
Go back and look at Roman Reigns circa 2015 and get back to me and tell me I'm wrong.
Roman was a blue-eyed devil back then, if you remember.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he had the blue contact lenses. Yes, with bad teeth.
With chiclets in them bitches.
Yes. He had a mouthful of wayward chiclets.
Sorry that this is a business of appearance. I mean,
it is.
It's not an AEW.
You can do something else.
It's not an AEW.
Right.
You can be a big fat blob, but if your teeth are good, you can make it in this business if you've got charisma. If you've got bad teeth, no one's going to give a shit if it doesn't match the personality that you have.
Exactly.
Right? It's just not.
Wrestling.
By the way, thank you all for watching.
A few people.
I tell you what, JD from the Workhorsemen must have a mouthful of piano keys, shiny, bright white piano keys, because he's a big fat blob, and he's still there. He's in an A cup right now, and he's still there. JD of the Workhorsemen.
Thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. I'm sending you a new bell for Christmas. I swear to God that's going to happen.
I paid a good $277 for this bell.
It sounds like Darby Allin after this next match because holy shit. But we get the Tony Storm interview.
What's going on?
And I was afraid. Bottles was right. I was terrified of this. It happened. It happened.
What's that?
The Tony Storm turn that we thought was happening. I hope for something else. You thought this was coming. You like this. I don't like this. We're going to have to agree to disagree. I hate the entire, I've got amnesia and I'm so happy to be here. Can I fart over there around them? This shit sucks. The entire I'm so happy to be here angle is ass. If she'd have gone back and said, I'm going back to my roots. I'm a rocker girl. I'm an ass kicker. I'm going to be me. I would have bought that. This shit I can't buy. I'm sorry. I can't abide.
If she would have had a rematch with Mariah May and had a gimmick chair or some other object cracked over her head, and she would have been out, taken away in an ambulance, take her away, and then show like a rehab video of her not remembering anything and bring her back as this character and then have it slowly, have flashbacks, have Luther come. Miss Storm, who are you? And I've been with you for years. I'm your butler. No, you're not. I've never seen you before in my life. That sort of thing.
Right.
Just have Luther follow her around. That's not what they're doing. They're just throwing her out there. Being interviewed by RJ City, the guy who came up with the timeless idea for Tony Storm. He's the guy who wrote all that shit. RJ City did.
I got a question. Who asked for skateboard Tony Storm?
Nobody.
And that's the whole thing. Like when she comes back, she shouldn't even have touched this idea. Listen, people know me as Timeless Tony Storm. I got over with Timeless Tony Storm. I lost a championship as Timeless Tony Storm. When I come back, I want my pyro and my ballyhoo to be bigger than ever because I'm coming back as Timeless Tony Storm, coming to get my championship. It's very simple. No need to overcomplicate things by having this amnesia angle. First off, just like you said, Johnny, when did the amnesia take place? When did this thing happen?
No one knows.
Yeah,
no one knows because
Awful. Hold on. I got to stop. Awful. Stop asking logical questions because now you're pissing everybody off. The neck beers are going to come for you, pal. Yeah. They're going to come for you even harder now. You're on 2 shows that hate these son of a bitches. It's go time.
They're screenshotting your face right now to try to somehow search you in some database online to find out where you live.
FTR says you guys better be careful in your homes, but you're definitely going to see me in Asheville on January 1st.
You could have right now outside of your house. You could have bald and gun FTR just sitting in a 1997 Chrysler Sebring, just waiting.
No,
hopefully they'll want my autograph.
What was it be? What'd you say? El Camino.
It's an El Camino.
El Camino.
It's an El Camino.
Yes.
That's what they're in. Here we go. I want to talk about this match. We got 2 more segments to cover. One of them I don't want to cover at all, which is the main event. It was ass. But I do want to cover Ocean Spray versus Darby. I like this match. And I'm going to tell you why. I thought it was action-packed. I thought they sold some, not as much as I typically like. Excuse me, for an AEW type match.
What are you up to a pack a day now? You smoking a pack a day? Okay.
I'm smoking these leaves, pal. I'm smoking these leaves.
I'm going to smoke some leaves when we get off the air.
Why are you like this?
What? I'm just glad your internet's fixed.
No, it wasn't that. Trust me, I'll tell you what it was. The 2 things that I could not stand about this match, and I'm going to tell you, I thought it was a good match overall, especially for an AEW type match.
Sure.
When Ocean Spray gave him the hidden blade finisher, and they immediately went to another stupid ass spot for Darby. That I hated. I thought that was horrible. You had it going when they did the back and forth, bullshit. I'm going to do this, you do that. Nobody hit anything, right? So it was just, we're going to go back and forth. But it didn't go on and on. So I said, okay, I can get with that. The hidden blade shit I hated. And when Darby Allin once again was on the floor and got up at 9 and ran to the ring yet again. We've seen this now multiple times from Darby. Stop doing that spot. Other than that, I really did enjoy this match. I really did.
We're JWR. How long till TK puts the title in Big Boom AJ?
At the next hot dog eating contest.
Well, let me tell you something.
Costco.
If he were to go ahead and drive, if he were to drive some kind of interest and get a lot of eyes all of a sudden, that might be a good move for him just to get people talking. Because this is a dead promo. Not promo. This is a dead promotion. This promotion is dying. It's dying before our eyes on the vine. And somebody's got their hand on the flusher, on the handle of the toilet. And that's Jon Moxley. He's going to ruin this entire promotion with this angle, this main event angle he's doing with the belt. He's going to keep the belt at the next pay-per-view. He's not losing that belt at World's End. They're going to carry this into the next year.
We're going to get there. We're going to get there.
It's going to be a debacle. I'm just saying. If they put that, so many social media eyes and views were brought about, and I hated it. I hate all 3 of these guys. Big Boom AJ, his son with the black hair, and the kid, the Rizzler. I couldn't stand any of this. But Big Boom AJ is actually with this crowd. Over. He can wrestle. He can do a better promo than anybody in that company.
He sold the show in his entire promo. I'm not saying he couldn't sell the show. What I'm saying is it's a travesty that guy can cut a better promo than 90% of your roster on getting asses in the seats. Awful. Right. You've got a lot to say. I can tell. You wrote some shit down. Go ahead.
AJ, first off, grew up, but he trained during a time where it was just like, promos are very, very important. Mm-hmm. And you weren't going to leave the locker room or the arena without one of your buddies telling you, like, your promo was shit. Or maybe you should work on it a little bit. People were on your ass if you weren't doing too well as far as promo ability and all that. You were forced.
I think the word you're looking for is honest. They were honest with you.
Yeah, definitely. As far as the Darby Allin Will Ospreay match,
I can tell you weren't a fan, so go ahead.
Again, too long. One of the things that really annoyed me is that Darby Allin was given 15 minutes to beat Will Ospreay when it took MJF an hour and it took Swerve 35 minutes to do it. And I think Will Ospreay is so good that he's not protecting his character. And when you lose to Darby Allin in the way you did on a random Dynamite for the Continental Classic with no build or anything like that, I think that's going to hurt him down the line. I don't think it helped Darby Allin either, because he didn't need the win. He didn't need, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Will Ospreay and Darby Allin, they shouldn't even been in this competition, in this tournament. So
why can't Ospreay go back to contending for the title, the main title? Why can't he do that? Why can't Darby? Why did he fall out of favor all of a sudden when he lost that one match to Moxley?
It's happened it's happened ever since Samoa Joe lost the championship, my friend. They disappear. They disappear. They do not get rematches. I don't know what is up with that. It's the strangest thing. It needs to be corrected.
Well, we're going to get there next. No, we're going to get there next. I appreciate your input.
Okay.
You're both wrong. It was a good match.
I didn't say it was a bad match. I didn't say it was a bad match.
I didn't say it was a bad match.
It's a joke.
But they did spam their finishers, like Speed ran through their finishers towards
that. I wasn't a fan of that. Like we all hate that shit. Like,
matching the video game buttons.
Yeah. Like, if you hit the go home button, go fucking home. Don't give me another go home moment. Right? Like, we all agree on that. So yeah.
But out of all the matches on that show, that was the best match on the show.
All right.
Head and shoulders above everything else.
Because this next piece of shit was the main event, and it was the Cracker Clan versus Jay White, Pockets.
He's already shaking his head.
He's in Pockets, so he's super serial. I can't stand Pockets. I will never like him. And Hangman Adam Page is sober. At least he stayed in character. This is all I wrote down. OC sucks already. I can't stand him. Marina Potatoes, somebody. Mox runs from Hang. I can't do any of this. I don't give a shit. The main event makes no sense. Midway through the whole thing, Hangman leaves. Then he comes back. Then we have chaos in the ring to have a four-way that makes no sense. And this is my issue with this whole thing. Darby Allin, I understand. Not Darby Allin, I'm sorry. I understand why
I get him confused too.
Yeah. I understand why Pockets has beef with Moxley. They just had a match. I get that. They still got an ongoing feud. How the hell did Jay White and Hangman suddenly get involved in all of this? And the AEW neckbeards and the diehards will not acknowledge that this storyline has got absolutely zero continuity. It is being pulled out of someone's ass. There's no reason that they should all be facing each other. This doesn't line up with any kind of a sensibility that we're getting a fatal four-way. Why is this happening?
They all want the belt. What they should have done is have individual matches for all these guys to go up against Moxley and try to take the belt from him. But Tony, of course, for the ice cream sundae that you just made for him, he's going to take a can of Ready Whip and dump it on top. He's going to take a whole jar of maraschino cherries and pour it on top because he thinks he's making it better for everybody.
What are you doing in your spare time?
I'm just saying. I don't want to use the cornet line. Put a hat on a hat. That's like having a hat on a hat. I don't want to say that. I'm just. You get the idea. Awful's got the idea what I'm talking about. It's too much. You get a good idea. Have one or two guys having a match, with Moxley. A three-way at the most, not a four-way. Why don't they just have a battle royal? Have a battle royal. And have Moxley in the battle royal.
Because the last time they did that shit, they had dual winners. And that shit made no sense.
No sense. Speaking of which, where's Kyle O'Reilly? He's conspicuous by his absence.
Thank
this week
God, him and his strong arm. I made it with.
Did you guys notice that there were no tag-ins towards the end of that match? I have some notes that talked about.
Go ahead. No, I was going to ask you to read it because
everybody was able to. Marv calls it rescalation, where everybody gets their shit in right before a pinfall or whatever. And the problem is that we don't know who the legal man is. Now I know this is some nitpicky stuff, but
Hold on, Marvin. Let me cite you right there. Marvin is right.
Yeah.
It's not nitpicky, awful. This is what should be happening. I should know who the son of a bitch is that can take the pin and can make the pin.
Right.
And I don't. But
I don't think the ref knew. I don't think anybody knew. It just so happens, because I took a look at the match again, it just so happens that the correct two people, Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley, do finish off the match. Mm-hmm. But in between that, the ref is not trying to stop anybody from getting in or out of the ring. He's not directing any sort of traffic. He's not being the referee that even in kayfabe he should be, trying to restore order to the match out of the chaos. None of that is happening. And I'm telling you, it's those little things, 1,000 little cuts is what's going to kill AEW. 1,000 little cuts.
I've got a gimmick that could really improve AEW tomorrow.
Don't do the Goat Boy.
No, not Goat Boy. Okay. No. All the refs carry tasers. if they don't get out of the ring, I'm going to light you up. I'm going to light you up.
I'm going to light you up. Yeah, exactly.
They can even bring in, who's the guy from TNA, does a Frankenstein gimmick?
I don't know.
What's his name?
But that's Bottles.
The former Quebecer Pierre
no,
does a Frankenstein gimmick in TNA.
You're not
bring
topping
him in.
That.
Shock
You're not
him.
topping that. That just popped the room. The
It's
taser
alive.
referee.
Yeah.
That's the greatest gimmick I've ever heard in my life.
Right. ATW, all taser wrestling.
No, it's time to bring out the ATR, all taser referee. Get
That's
on
it.
goddamn ring.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Aubrey would overuse it, of course.
Yes.
Oh,
Aubrey
they completely overuse it. He'd be out every damn show.
Right.
And then when you want to do something to your opponent, you go underneath the ring. You don't pull out a fire extinguisher. You don't pull out a Singapore cane. You pull out a bucket of water and throw it on your opponent. That way, when he gets shocked, it hurts even worse.
He dies.
He dies.
Aubrey's
going to be going like this. She's going to be going.
Oh shit! Is he dead?
He's
that
dead.
Guy won.
He's dead.
But you know what? Another little cut that AEW is doing right now. We haven't seen their world championship, their actual
the actual belt, right?
In months,
right?
And I've always said it's a pretty looking piece of our hardware. I love the AEW championship belt. It looks awesome.
It's not your company anymore,
right? You got to show off that thing. You've got to show off.
No, I agree with you 100%.
You know who the champion is.
Put in Halliburton. Let Marita Shafir carry it around.
We've talked about that. Like, why are you hiding one of the prettiest belt designs that I've seen in the past 20 years? Because it damn sure jumps the damn WWE belt. I hate that damn thing.
Yeah.
Here's our marketing logo. It's not a championship belt. That's why on Saturday night's main event, when they brought back the Winged Eagle, everybody went batshit. Because that's the best looking belt design in history, bar none. Don't get at me and don't try to tell me otherwise. The Winged Eagle is the antithesis of where it all stops and starts. From there, you go to the big gold, and then you can have your shit show debate on what's next. Those are the top two belts, and it doesn't matter what you say after that.
No spinner belt. No love for the spinner belt. The kids love the spinner belt.
I will punch you in the nuts.
Yeah. No way.
But that concludes our
Winged Eagle.
Oh, you like the big eagle or the big gold over the Winged Eagle?
Oh no. A1 and A2.
So that's what I'm saying. Like they're there. You can put them in whatever direction you want, but those are the two belts that define wrestling for, in my opinion, 15 years.
Definitely. And the TNA belt wasn't bad looking either.
Well, until they decided they were going to go with a drunken idiot called Jeff Hardy.
Right. Yeah.
We're going to give you a special belt. I like that. I'm drunk as shit.
$15,000 down the drain.
Exactly. Just what the hell.
Poor cow.
Hey, look. So I want to thank you all for joining us tonight, man. We had a great time. If you'd like to come back in sometime, we'd love to have you back sometime.
Absolutely.
Thanks, man.
Had a great time tonight.
Yeah,
I'm glad you had a good time. So Squared Circle Maniacs, I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody who has made the last year that we've gone on this endeavor means so very much. We started off with 15 people watching this show. And I want to ask everybody to like and subscribe. We appreciate you. If you like our content, let us know. Leave us a thumbs up. We really appreciate that. It helps us out so very much. This is the last show until Christmas, so I want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. I hope you all have a very special Christmas with your loved ones. Give them a hug, give them a kiss. And we're going to be back next week, Bottles, with our end-of-year review show.
Yes.
We're going to have the awards show that we've been talking about. You and I have been spitballing ideas. I've got mine written down. Let me ask Awful real quick before we go.
Sure.
Your Wrestler of the Year, 2024 male, who is it?
Ooh, the person who jumps out at me is Drew McIntyre. I was interested in everything that he was doing this year. Cody, I've never really had an affinity for. I'm not a big fan of his.
Thank you.
I respect him, obviously, as a performer and all that, but like, I see who he's for. He's for the kids, and he's not for me. You know what I mean? So, but as far as like, somebody that sticks out for me, Drew McIntyre, easy.
I respect that very much.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, you might have just stolen my giveaway next week, to be quite honest.
He had a feud with a man who was out hurt. He had a feud going for months.
And he kept it alive.
He kept it alive
for months.
Yes. I like the guy who had the shortest retirement.
Don't
professional
put
wrestling
it up.
history.
Don't put it up.
Logan Paul.
Is he back again?
He's back. He's going to be on Netflix, on Raw. He moved to Raw. They just had a big press conference for Netflix Wednesday. And Logan Paul's the newest member of the Raw roster. Have you seen the matches that they're going to have? This is the only piece of news I got. These are the confirmed matches for the premiere episode of Netflix. Raw. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins, main event. Travis Scott performance. The Rock's return.
Who cares?
I know, look, that's not, here it is, though. Hold up before you go on. That's not our thing, but the kids love them, man.
The kids love them. John Cena's return. Morgan versus Ripley. And Reigns versus Solo for the Lola Falana.
Yeah, get this match over with, please.
Get it done. Yes. Move on. It's time to move on. I agree. No, look, it's time to move on to something else.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it.
Bottles is staring into space. Is he safe?
No, I'm looking at my other screen, for Christ's sake.
Why don't you calm down there, killer?
Look at that look.
Do you know? I know a guy that did not like that look.
I know a guy too who did like that look.
Till next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.